Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video talking to you about this silencer here, currently attached to the CMMG Banshee in 300 Blackout. This is their DEFCAN 3 Titanium. Today alone we probably put about 500 rounds through this bad boy, so we definitely have gotten this thing nice and hot. So today, obviously, we're going to be talking about it here on camera. So I feel like at this point I have some good ideas and talking points that I can talk to you about this. Given the nature of this being a T&E silencer, I'm obviously not going to be able to put as many rounds through it as I would normally like to, but nonetheless, I feel like we have some good talking points about this can. So let's go ahead and roll in some footage of us shooting this silencer out here today, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the specs of this silencer. So what I'm going to do is put the specs over here on this side of the screen while I talk about just the overview of this can. As I said, it is all titanium. So even though this thing looks pretty long, it's surprisingly lightweight. So when you're adding it to the end of your gun, you're really not changing how it feels and how it moves around very much. But because it is long, you also get a lot of sound suppression, which is a really nice thing, obviously. Now, they come in two different attachment methods. They're going to have direct thread versions, and then this version is their bi-lug adapter. For those of you familiar with tri-lug adapters, you can probably figure out what that means. So instead of having 3 lugs, unlock the bolt open here, you have 2 little lugs. So just going to put this on the end of the can here, and just like a tri-lug adapter, push in, rotate it, in this case 90 degrees, and now you're ready to go. Now, when you first attach it, you might think, oh, you know, there's a little bit of play there. However, I made absolutely certain before we came out in here and shot today to check the muzzle end of this thing to see if there's any sort of baffle strikes or anything like that. And then after, again, over 500 rounds through this can on this rifle, had 0 issues with anything contacting that muzzle end. My guess is they might oversize it just a little bit to prevent it from causing any issues. But again, very, very quiet, easily hearing safe, at least with subs. Unfortunately, we had other people out here shooting on the range, so I didn't take my ears off too much. But I did shoot it without my ears shooting subs, and it was very easily hearing safe. I will also say, I don't know whether how much of it is the adjustable gas block in this rifle, how much of it is this charging handle back here, but I will say, even during long strings of fire, I never found myself having to stop because I felt gassed out or anything like that, so that is definitely a nice thing. I don't know how much of it's the can, I don't know how much of it's the gas block because I've only shot it configured as you see here, but I figure that's something worth noting. Now, along with this can, I know they are also going to be releasing a bunch of like 9mm, I believe, 45. Don't quote me on all these, but I know they're going to be coming out with a bunch of different calibers as well in this similar design. And honestly, I think at this point, this bi-lug attachment system might be my new favorite attachment method for a silencer. There's a lot of QD options out there, but some of them can be a real pain. This bi-lug adapter is just so easy to attach and detach. Again, especially if you have multiple rifles, you just get a couple bi-lug compatible muzzle devices, and you can just so easily swap this thing on and off, take it on and off. Especially if you have your handy dandy, hold on, let me grab it. I think I left it in my bag, hold on. All right, if you have your handy dandy silencer shop oven mitt, or as my friend Christian calls it, the can chamois, whatever you want to call it, even when this thing gets hot, it's really easy to just grab and take it off. And so again, even when it's hot, you're not having to hold on to it very long because it attaches and detaches so easily. Because I've gotten cans hot before that are direct thread, and you're having to hold on to it for so long that that heat transfers through the oven mitt. So, I mean, it's just such a fast and easy attachment method. And because of that, even though it's long, if let's say you're in a situation where you need a really short compact package and you're just running this Banshee as is, and then you need to go quiet, you can just have this stowed on your gear or whatever and attach it very easily. And then again, do whatever you need to with it. So you don't have to have it attached all the time if you don't need it, but then when you do need it, it's super fast and easy to attach without having to worry a whole lot. So again, it might be my new favorite attachment method for silencers, but you know, I don't have a whole lot of experience. I haven't tried every single option out there, but of the options I've tried so far, again, this might be my favorite because it's just so easy to use. Now, again, I've only shot it on this 300 blackout. If I had more time with it, I would probably try to put it on my 308s and all that. And I know it is rated for 308 as well. It is a full-on 7.62 can. But, again, of the calibers I've shot it with, being 300 blackout, both supers and subs, it functioned flawlessly all the way across. And, again, I really like it. Now, it is not end-user serviceable. However, they do have a lifetime quality guarantee on it. So if you ever run into issues, if you somehow can afford to shoot a high enough volume to where you're completely gunking out your can, you can send it back into them and they'll take care of you. Let's see, you don't even have to be the original owner. You don't have to be the original owner, and you don't have to even register it with them in order to have their guarantee cover you. So that's a really cool thing. So if you are worried about not having an end-user serviceable can, CMMG will take care of you either way. Now, this can is not going to be the cheapest one out there. However, it's easily not the most expensive one either. This one comes into market just under $900. Again, that's the MSRP. You might be able to find it listed for slightly cheaper, especially at a place like Silencer Shop where they do sales all the time. But at least as it's being released to the market, that is the MSRP on it. That keeps it at a very competitive price range. Again, it's not the cheapest, but especially for such a quick adapter like you have here, that's a pretty dang good price. And again, being a 7.62 can, you're going to be able to run it on a lot of those smaller calibers as well. So again, 7.62 cans are typically seen as the do-everything cans because they're so versatile and you can put them on so many different calibers. So let's go ahead and do some more shooting with this thing, and then we'll talk about the pros and cons and wrap up our thoughts about this silencer here.
I feel like you should try it.
So as far as the cons go on this silencer, it is pretty long. Again, there's really no getting around that. However, again, it is, well, I'll talk about the counter side of that when I talk about the pros. So it is long. And do I wish it was shorter? Sure. Are you going to be sacrificing some stuff? Yes. But it is fairly long. As far as some other cons, being titanium, it does heat up fairly quickly. However, that'll take us straight into the pros. Being titanium, it also cools down very quickly. So, you know, we got this thing hot shooting at 240 yards. I let the rifle sit out there to let it cool down, and by the time I'd finished carrying all the few things I had back to my car, it was already cool enough to put it back into my rifle bag and not worry about it melting any of the nylon or anything crazy like that. So that's a really nice thing. Again, another pro, it's very competitively priced, and it's super, super lightweight. Again, that goes to it being titanium. It really does not add a whole lot of weight to the end of your gun, and that's a really important thing when you're talking about suppressors, especially on a short little PDW like this little Banshee here. So again, you can weigh whatever you want as far as what you need as far as length or quietness or anything like that, but you know, you'll make that determination for yourself. However, it does have what is currently my favorite attachment method. Again, you can do direct thread if you want, but honestly, this bilug makes it so simple that you know, I'm going to be eyeballing these pretty hard once they get released to the market. So again, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of time with this thing to be able to give you a lot more talking points, especially how it does on other calibers. So, you know, take that as you will. Again, I still feel like as we shot it today, I'm really surprised by this thing, and I'm really liking it so far. Now, if you want to see other silencer reviews, I do have other ones on this channel, at least as long as it's still on YouTube. All the silencers have been provided by Silencer Shop, so I really appreciate them being willing to do work with me, like with this and the little Banshee here. So The nice thing about that is I can, without any issue whatsoever, recommend that if you want to buy a silencer, go through Silencer Shop. They honestly have the easiest process for buying NFA items that I'm aware of. And not only that, they're actively working to make it easier and faster for your average citizen to buy NFA items. They've recently worked with a barcode system to make the process faster, and they're working on expanding that and doing other things, again, to bring those wait times down and make life a lot easier for those of us willing to go through the NFA process. Again, they also have really good prices a lot of the time. Most of the time I'm doing a video on a silencer, they have a sale going on for it. So definitely check out their site with their kiosks. Even if you have trust with people all over the country, it makes it super easy. And in fact, I did a video with Jeremy from Silencer Shop during SHOT Show that explains how that process works. And again, it'll explain to you why I can genuinely say it is the easiest process for purchasing NFA items on the market. With all that said, if you guys are interested, I do have a Patreon page. That's where a lot of the ammo came from, to be able to purchase a lot of the ammo for this test. Some of the subs were provided by a friend of mine, but most everything else I had to buy for this review today. So please check that out. I do post content there early, as well as doing some exclusive content and like live streams over there. So if you feel interested, go ahead and check that out. But anyway, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and throw those down in the comment section down below. I'll try to get back to you as quick as I can. But with all that said, as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.
Now totally different location. Same here for me.
Yeah. It's not bad for an 8-inch barrel.
Nope. I mean, it's still hitting that plate with some authority, too.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Want to take some shots? Whenever you're ready. By the way, this is a guy who can hit that gong with his Glock 20 consistently.
Attaboy.
All right, you got one more shot. Let me. All right. now you've demonstrated that it's not just.
It's so awkward, but
Yeah.
results don't lie.
Yeah. And now that you've done it too, I can't blame the trigger.
Nope. And
I know it was close.
just a mention in your video that I pulled that shot with a hand that I just cut 3 fingers off of.
Right. Right.
Not
It's true.
A couple months ago.